Dupetas y Dupetas, today on Dupe by the River, we're going to talk about the Mark McKenzie signing is official. You can book it. Mark is heading over to Genk. We're going to talk about it here. We're also going to break down part 3 of breaking down the 2020 Philadelphia Union season, the heartbreaking ending, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to end today with some news and notes around your Major League Soccer. Do not go anywhere because this is Dupe by the River. And let's get this started. That is right. Welcome everyone to Dupe by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. And before we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to subscribe to us. We are on PSN Radio wherever you subscribe to podcasts. Make sure to keep PSN Radio in your lineup. And of course, if you want to check out our handsome faces, we are on El Parcero Phillies YouTube channel. The video portion is up on there, so make sure to check out there and make sure to like and subscribe to there as well. All right, let me introduce you today, my panel of Dupetos. First up, he's got the Eagles green on here. My man, I'm sorry, it's not really Eagles green. I'm a depressed Eagles fan right now. We got my man, Mr. Justin Pryor. Justin, first off, man, this chair, the seat looks pretty nice, man. What's going on?
Thank you. Yeah, it took it was when I had nothing to do this afternoon while working with my boss at the moment.
I hope your boss is not listening.
This it came this afternoon, and my dad and I put this together, and it actually is super comfortable as it's sitting in the low.
That's all that matters.
Lumbar support.
Hey now,
the green shirt. I am.
Hey.
This is one of my. It's subscribe to the Outside Insider.
Hey now,
podcast. I do have a couple PSN shirts. I do. Hey, listen. I'm a contributor. I got to rep.
Absolutely.
PSN.
That's why we love you, man.
Honestly, it's been a wild week. Getting back to working because I had a couple extra days off
nice.
Monday, Tuesday, and getting back, I'm like, I guess I gotta work eventually.
Eventually, got to get to it.
But no, it's been pretty good. I mean, the union stuff starting to creep back up. Silly season
Absolutely.
at its finest. There's been a lot of signings, a lot of trades. We'll talk about it today, but oh boy, the levels of transfer silly season that will be going on today during this pod. Let me tell you, folks, we will be getting conspiracy level. We're talking Messi to the Union. Let's go. wait, hold on. Sorry,
Someone mute Justin's mic.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I'm getting word from Jim Curtin.
Shut Sky Sports
up. All right, guys. I've been told to shut up. I can't comment any further without a lawyer.
We're going to talk about a lot of crazy stuff that's not only going on with our team, but with the MLS. Absolutely. And also shouts to Liam, because we saw Justin with this PSN t-shirt. We got to give shouts to the big boss. Liam, you keep killing it, man. Keep killing it. Of course, I got Tim Lovaguth here, but ladies and gentlemen, Tim is wearing one of I'm going to say it is my favorite Sixers jersey of all damn time. Tim, what is going on? I hope you're doing better than the Sixers right now.
I mean, hey, they're trying to come back, maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
It's a weird night.
Yeah, it's a weird night. No, but I'm doing well, and yeah, I'm repping the Sixers right now. I wanted to be Allen Iverson as a little kid, so
we all did, man.
My Allen Iverson jersey. No, I'm doing well, man. Enjoying 2021 here this first week. I know there's been some crazy and stupid things that have happened in the last few days here, but I'm excited to bring some MLS talk, some Union talk for a welcome to distraction if you need it here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the Sixers right now are trailing 99-86 in the fourth quarter, 10:18 left. And yeah, I mean, Allen Iverson it was everything to me as a kid. And reminder, Duke by the River is a proud supporter of 5 for 5 Philly sports. So as you guys can tell, that is right. But unfortunately today, guys, Tim kind of alluded to it and Justin did too. We have to start off because it's only right. Look, I don't think I need to reiterate what happened yesterday. It was one of the most embarrassing days in American history. And I think we need to take the couple minutes to just to let loose. Yeah, we were supposed to record this on Wednesday night. We decided collectively that it was in the best interest of everyone to just to set the recording date back just one day. It just didn't feel right. We all had our heavy hearts. You guys know, like Tim and I had once all the after the George Floyd incident. Tim and I spent a good couple minutes talking about it on the podcast as well. So with social issues like this, it's important to talk about. So I'm going to give you guys the platform here. Take as much time as you want. I really don't care if you guys take up the whole hour, but I think it's important that we open up. And Justin, I'll allow you to start first, man. Like whatever you want to say that happened on yesterday, man. Definitely open up.
After Tuesday night, I had an inkling that things might be a little dangerous. Did I think they would get to the levels that they did Wednesday? Absolutely not. Can I say that I'm absolutely disgusted with this country and the manner in which these people have decided to take out their frustration on a system that was fair in the most secure election in this country's history. Yeah, I can say I'm thoroughly disgusted. And I've been saying this. I said this all day yesterday, and I said this all day today. The only reason that those protesters were not beaten down, were not maced, were not gassed, was the color of their skin. Notice how they are considered. They're considered patriots. They're considered peaceful protesters, and I say peaceful with the highest level of sarcasm because this was embarrassing. You had the Capitol Police who clearly were overwhelmed, and at some points were letting people in, and it was in a mob scene. You had people running around, sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office, sitting at the the head of the Senate, and several of those people had zip ties that they were prepared to take. They were prepared to take hostages. But those people are fine. Those people are venting their frustration on an election that was stolen. Stuff that's being spewed over and over and over again by a president who stoked this 4 years ago, continue to stoke it, and people seem surprised that this I've heard this several times over is, well, I'm surprised that the country has gotten to this. I am not. If you've looked at 2020 in a nutshell, the George Floyd murder summed up how people of color are treated in this country. It's why Jim felt so passionately to let his players speak, to let his players do what they did the MLS's back tournament. I don't think I've ever had more respect for Jim than I've ever had at that point. It's because this is what happens. This is what happens when, people of color can't even, if they had done half the stuff that these people had done, you would have been talking about several deaths. The only person that died in relation to the protest was the woman who was shot while trying to enter the window. The other few people who died of medical emergencies not related to this. And you're saying, okay, 5 people out of tens of thousands, and out of arrest maybe less than 100. This is embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to what this country stands for the freedoms that we've been given in this country. They've straight up abused it. At this point, I think everyone involved, everyone who hit the building should face 25 years in prison. As as you know, Shaq and the guys on the the NBA pregame show said it best before the Sixers game. If a guy in a bad neighborhood can get 20-25 for selling a dime bag of weed, these people should get 20-25 too. This is absolutely. They have said this. We have not had, people storm on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Yeah,
and that was when the British chased the government out of Washington. It blows my mind that there are people that consider these people patriots, and people like Ted Cruz, people like Josh Hawley. I really hope, and there have been reports. I really hope they are no longer senators in Illinois, because that's sedition. That's it's treason. You're stoking flames. You are inciting people. You've created panic. You've created chaos. You've tried to undermine a election in a year with a global pandemic, and you've tried to undermine everything. At this point, I'm embarrassed to say that this country stands for, because at this point, I don't know what this country stands for. Yeah. It's a joke. I have no idea at this point what this country stands for, and I'm embarrassed to call myself an American right now, because we were the laughing stock. Now we're not even a laughing stock. No one's laughing. It's sad. It's frightening.
They're praying for us.
And yes, as a white Jewish kid, I might not fully understand what people of color have to deal with, with tiptoeing around police officers. And obviously that's a level of privilege that I obviously never realized for years. But you know what? I've realized that the level of protections that I've had compared to someone, say even like Mark McKenzie, our center back, has said he has dealt with issues like this. Think about what if he was Jacob Blake? What if he, was Trayvon Martin? We might not be talking about how proud we are that he left, the Philadelphia Union and is going on to Europe. We don't know. And, I can go on and talk, but my level of experience is obviously nothing compared to people of color in this country. And, at this point, I'm proud to be the person I am, but at this point, I'm almost embarrassed to say I'm an American, because at this point, Justin, this country's an embarrassment right now.
That's all you can do. All you can do right now, my man, is just continue being the person you are. You might not understand what they go through, but the fact that you are willing to open up and listen, that's really, you're doing a lot. And thank you so much for opening up. I really appreciate it, Justin. Tim, you messaged us last night, and you kind of spurred it on, you got it in my head, I don't think it's a good idea either to record. So I'm really curious, what your thoughts were, because you really are a passionate man, and I love you for that. And what went through your head yesterday, man?
Yeah, I was, I think like most people, just it was my lunch break. I was tuning into some of the news channels just to see the Senate hearing. I wanted to see how people were going to vote. I had been hearing about it, obviously. Some people still objecting to the election results. So I wanted to see these people who are elected to lead us, and see who we're going to lead and who we're going to follow the president. I try really hard not to say his name, because I don't think anyone should. I think he should be forgotten. He's not a nice person whatsoever. He and his mob of people that follow him in positions of power really caused this. They had that rally before the Senate hearing, and they said to march down the street and to use violence and to break in and to take it over, because it's their house and you deserve to be in there, and you can hurt anyone you want to get there, and it's your privilege to be there. And that's just not true. Like Justin said so eloquently, and a lot of other people have too, if the color of their skin was different, if they were black, they wouldn't have made it past the barricades. There would have been the army would have been there, the National Guard. We learned today that the Capitol Police refused to have the National Guard there. There were talks, at least I think beforehand, that National Guard members could be there and help them out. And they said, "No, we don't need the help. We're going to be okay." And obviously, that was a total lie from what we saw. A lot of times, right now, I'm speechless. I put out a quick Twitter thread yesterday with some short thoughts on it, because every time I talk for a long time about this, I get so emotional. I get to the point where all I want to do is yell obscenities at these people who think that they're better than other people who, like, we're all Americans. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think just because you lost that something is stolen from you? And how can you follow that logic when courts of law have shown that it's not true? There's a lot more I could definitely say on it, but I think I've made my piece for sure, and I think everyone who has a brain understands what happened yesterday. But I think the last thing I'll say is that those people who went to the Capitol were not protesters. They were domestic terrorists, and that is exactly what they were. The protesters don't incite violence. They don't go and try to hurt other people like that. So yeah, that's the last I'm going to say on it.
Tim, I really appreciate you. Always are the first one to open up on these situations, and that truly means the world to everyone that there are people like you. Like it gives hope. It really does. So thank you both. I'm going to apologize right off the bat. If I do curse, I'm sorry. And if you do have your kids listening, I'm sorry. But, this is, you guys know me. I don't sugarcoat anything. Everything comes from my heart. So yesterday, I decided to take the day to go into Philly, do some TikToks. You guys know, like I that's what I do. I like to be out in public and demonstrate, what I do for Philly sports essentially. But I had no idea what was going on. So I'm driving. I'm in South Philly. I'm at the sports complex, and I'm so happy. Like I was so excited because I walked past Xfinity Live and I see the Philadelphia Union banner next to the other. Now I guess there was 5 other teams with the Fusion there, but I was so excited. I was so happy. Like, for me, you guys know how much hard work I put into trying to make the Union relevant in that freaking city, and to see the Union up there, like nothing, absolutely nothing could take me down from that. And I get back in my car and I'm going on to my next site to record. And I'm a big, you guys know me, I'm a big fan of Mike Missinelli. And, really shouts out to Mikey Miss for just understanding. And that's where I kind of like heard what was, like, I didn't understand what was going on, but he was just, giving his point of view on the situation. And I was agreeing with him, and I didn't know exactly what went down until I arrived home after my recording. And my girlfriend's brother was like, "Dude, do you know what happened in DC?" And I was like, "No, what exactly happened?" And he showed me the videos, and I literally could not finish watching because I was so embarrassed that we can get to this fucking point that we think we can storm into that house to take over what? What are you taking over? I'm sick and tired of this fucking bullshit. Like the fact that this country is so goddamn divided. Like people can't even have a simple conversation because what? You think that because of their political views? What happened to just loving your person right next to you? Like every morning I wake up and I genuinely ask myself, how can I become a better goddamn human being? And the fact that there's people that still wake up and think that there can only be one freaking race, there can only be one freaking president with one freaking ideal. We are better than this. My parents didn't sacrifice everything to leave their goddamn countries for this fucking bullshit. All right, we're not the United States of America. We're just states in America. That's it. I'm sorry that I'm getting a little bit too loud here. It's just, just hearing Tim, hearing Justin, and just reflecting on what went down. Like, I'm embarrassed. I'm fully embarrassed. I know my name says Parcero because I'm half Colombian, but the other half is American, and I'm a proud American, and I'm not proud of this. And it's like everyone said, if those people were black, yesterday would have been an absolute massacre.
Yeah.
It would have been the worst thing we would have seen in America. Well, yesterday was the worst thing I've seen in American history, but I would have literally, I don't care how much money I have in my bank account, I would be like, babe, we're out. We're leaving because I can't. I literally can't. So I'm going to try to calm down here because we have a podcast to do. But like I said at the beginning, it's important for us to talk about these different things because, listen, we love the union. We love soccer, but there are more important things in the world. And there are people that are going through more messed up things. So we're gonna try to get calm our nerves here. We're gonna try to move forward here. No more cursing, I promise. So we can get the kids back in here. But really, I want to thank you both too, Justin and Tim. You both, you guys are amazing human beings, and doing this podcast, it really is a breeze because of you two. So thank you for constantly opening up and understanding the situations that are going on in our country. So
hey man, real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you too. For your passion and your expression of what's going on. Because, like you said, Justin and I, we have a very different vantage point. We have the same privilege of the people that just went in there yesterday.
Yeah,
you necessarily don't have that. So it's to hear other people's points of view, and I've heard a lot of other friends too, talk about this from their points of view, to really take that in and understand it. That's what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to have empathy. We're supposed to feel how our fellow Americans feel. So I just want to thank you for showing that and for being who you are and not being apologetic about it, man.
I mean, I'll always wear my heart on my sleeve. That never bothers me. I mean, for me, I don't understand fully what my fellow African American brothers and sisters have to go through, but what I do understand that we're not going to say the president's name like you said, Tim, but over the past 4 years, my people have been locked up in cages like animals. and the worst part about it, Tim, is I was born here.
Yeah.
I can't relate with that. You know how proud of a Latino I am, but I can't relate on that. So I have to watch and not understand why those people are in cages.
Yeah.
So that's like my point of view. So when I do see, racial injustice going on, I don't know what that is. I do know kind of what exactly, but obviously African Americans have dealt with it the worst in this country.
Yeah.
So whatever situation or issues my people have gone through, like it doesn't get put on the side, but I need to listen and I need to find out what they're going through, because we're in this together. We're all in this together, guys.
And to piggyback on Tim's point, I mean, Tim and I have afford the same privileges of people that storm the Capitol, and Johnny, I'll never know what it's like to be locked up in cages, to have to work several minimum wage jobs that people don't want, just because because I might not have legal paperwork to be in this country. I don't know what it's like, but what I can say is that, and I know Tim was, I'm proud to call you a friend, because I know you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're passionate about not only about Philadelphia sports, but you're passionate about the people in this area, about the people in this country, but the people that represent not only the sport of soccer, but all the sports. And it's stuff like that makes me proud to call you a friend, because you have more passion than most people ever show in their life. And you really, I mean, I look at your TikToks every day, and as silly as they might be, I know that you're spending the time. You are passionate about everything that you do, and it's I mean, how I've tailgated with you. I tailgated with you for the Red Bull playoff game, and we're sitting under Paul's tent, and you're passing around shots of Guaro, and I'm like this is stuff that I never thought I'd ever do in my life, but this, I can't believe it. And the more I've gotten to know you, the more I've realized that you are one of the best people that I know. You're one of the most kind-hearted, most passionate people I've ever met. And like I said, I know I said this multiple times, but I'm proud to call you a friend, because
Appreciate that, Justin, man.
You are genuinely a good person. And unfortunately, at this point in the country, it feels like that's in short supply.
Yeah. And my response to that, Justin, is that if I don't do that, if I don't try to bring positivity, if I don't do those TikToks, if I don't bring Philly sports to the light, if I don't become a voice for the Latinos, who is? And
Yeah.
that scares me.
Yeah.
I'm not. To me, I can't keep my mouth quiet and sit there and just let it happen.
Right.
Essentially, I had to do it. I had to do something about every situation that I just mentioned, and it's important that like that's why I said, like in the beginning, like every morning, just ask yourself, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
Just what can I do? And it's not even like you don't need, like, if you're everyone's strapped with money these days. Like, it doesn't have to be about money.
Right.
Just reach out to someone. Like, just how can you become a blessing in someone's day, man?
Yeah.
That's all you got to do, man. But thank you. I really appreciate those kind words, Justin. Thank you so much, my man. And I'm really happy you joined this team we have here, and together, like, we're gonna try to not only talk about soccer, but if we can make a difference, by God, by all means, we will try to do it for sure.
Yeah.
You got any last words there, Tim?
No, I said what I had. Good.
Whew, I felt good though. I definitely felt good. You definitely need those. You need to just let it out sometimes. And if anyone needs to vent, by all means, you got all our DMs are open. Definitely, reach out to us, because it is important to get that out there too. We're not all blessed to have a good support system like we have here, but if we can definitely become a support system for you, by all means, definitely let us know there. But yeah, well, I think the best way to transition here is talk about some good news that we got here, right? Speaking of soccer and speaking of Mark McKenzie, Mark's done a fantastic job of stepping up and speaking about these certain issues, and a lot of his hard work on and off the field is paying off, guys, because Mark is officially a member of KRC Gang, and this is another monumental day in Philadelphia Union history. Union fans, close your eyes. And in the last 3 months, just think about it. You have won a supporter shield. You have seen Brian Aronson get sold, and you see Mark McKenzie get sold, and that accumulates to the biggest sales in Union history. Guys, this is a great time to be a Philadelphia Union fan. And so the deal is a $6 million transfer fee. Obviously, there are, you guys aren't know Ernst. Ernst is a great businessman. He added some incentives there. So this could potentially be the biggest signing in
Nice.
If you are listening to this, Justin just changed his background in a matter of seconds into the gang background. He's all ganked up, man. I love it. You got the jersey on order, man?
You know what's funny? I was telling someone I'm waiting until Mark gets a jersey number, and then I'm ordering. I don't know if you've seen that third kit, that lime green kit.
You sent me that one. That was
sexy. I know that looks really nice. And
is 4 taken up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good center back number, so I'm assuming.
Let me look at their roster.
But I mean, like, listen, we've talked about this over the past couple months, and this saga has been dragging on. And to be fair, like, center back sales are not that easy. Like, it's not like selling an attacking midfielder or a forward. Some teams don't prioritize that position quite often, which they should. But this is a great day. What you got there, Justin?
Number 4 appears to be taken by a defensive midfielder, Dries Wouters. I really hope I'm saying that right.
Like, it's Wouters?
So Wouters. Wouters.
So Wooters.
Like, can I get a glass of water?
Yeah. That's straight out Philly. Can I get a Wooter? So it looks like
Mark, kick out water.
So right now, currently, there's 4 individuals. I'm looking on Transfer Market. There's 4 individuals who do not have a number, but I believe, I don't know if all of them are incoming or outgoing.
Okay.
But so we'll see. He could go 2 or 3. The numbers are and the lowers are 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I could see him as like a 3 or a 6.
Hopefully, hopefully he picks a good number here because this is for 2 years and we got to get a good shirt here. But no, I mean, like, look, we talked about it before, and we don't have to dive in too deep with him moving to Genk. But this is a great situation for him. Justin on the last pod talked about the long list of players that Genk has sold on. So we're all thinking that he goes there, develops, hopefully starts down the line. Obviously, I don't predict him starting from day one, but this is the
they
spot.
might be if the rumors I heard were true. So right now their back three is Johnny an all Colombian center, all Colombian back line. From what I've heard, I believe one of their center backs might be on the move.
Okay.
So if that's the case, like Brendan, Mark might be going right there and battling for a spot. And right now, Genk's in second place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he could be coming in and hitting the ground running. I'm not saying obviously he's going to go there and dominate, but at this point he's earned the right to, like with Brendan, $6 million for a team that doesn't spend all that much.
Are they in Europa League this year?
No, I don't think so.
They have no European competition.
Well, because I think with the Belgian league, I think they
send one.
First is guaranteed for Champions League, and then
they don't get a play-in team.
I think they're play-ins, but I think they have to the play-in process is pretty lengthy.
It's a long process for Europa League to play in.
Yeah. I mean, Salzburg getting to Champions League, and then they played several two-leg.
So asking for a Uni fan, does ESPN Plus carry the Austrian Bundesliga and the Belgic First Division?
Belgian, I don't know.
They do not. I checked.
But
darn it! I need that illegal service there.
Yeah,
anyone listening who's got the plug, please.
Yeah, but hey, something that's not gonna blow up our computers. Let's be honest here.
Hey, listen, for the Union, I do a lot. Listen, I've gotten into some heated arguments over the Union just to watch the game. So I will do a lot for the.
That's why they're streaming on the website now. They figured they just said, you know what, it's fine. We'll put it on the website.
Yeah, do you think the Union will start streaming some Salzburg?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So if anyone from the Union is listening, could you guys please get us some of those games on the website? That would be really appreciated.
Guys, hit up Adam Can or Carl Mandel, and
I'm just gonna
on behalf of be like, hey guys, what are we doing?
I need to watch this game.
Watch some of these games.
I'm gonna type up my email to Tim McDermott real quick. So just
yeah, seriously, dear Mr. McDermott.
We need.
Let me tell you. Here's my business proposal for why you should stream all the Salzburg and Genk games. And literally, it's just going to say, because we need to see more of Brendan and Mark. Mm-hmm. Sincerely, all of us here at DOOP by the River.
But I think it's crazy. Mark being the most expensive center back out of the MLS to be sold.
Yeah, domestic. Yeah.
That's crazy, guys. That's absolutely, and he deserves it too because he's been balling out over the past couple seasons. And his improvement over the last couple years has been really spectacular to say the least. But definitely well deserved.
I mean, think about the prime example, Mark. That's the last year. What was it the year prior? Mark had to earn his spot back.
Oh my God, that's right.
When it was Austin Trusty and Jack Elliott, even before 2019, Mark had to earn his spot back. And before last year, it was okay, Austin's gone. It's Austin could be gone. It's okay, so who's taking over?
Yeah.
And Mark stepped up, and it's this is my back line. And Mark was vocal. Mark was loud. Mark,
yeah.
Even this year alone, I could definitely see his distribution was amazing.
Yeah.
He had these line-breaking passes that, from a center back perspective,
God, yeah.
Once you don't see the only person I can think of in any league right now that I can think of that has that kind of distribution from a center back perspective. And Tim will love this, is Virgil van Dijk. A guy that in a back line where you don't need to have line breaking passes. Yeah. Someone that can step up and send the ball from the midline out to a winger who's making a great run in, or even straight to the attacking mid who turns and finds that winger. That's the type of play you need from a center back. And that was one of the things that Mark developed. That was the thing he needed to work on coming into the season, was his passing. His athleticism was off the charts. His soccer IQ was off the charts. It was okay. He could definitely work on his passing and maybe some of his positioning. Well, both of those were pretty damn perfect this season.
Yeah.
And there's 100% reason why he got sold for what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, any last words on your thoughts on the Mark sell?
Yeah, I mean, this is to quote Ernst Tanner, it was the right step for both Mark and the club. That was Ernst's first words on this, and it's kind of interesting to hear him say that, because we heard all the rumors about him possibly leaving, in the summer. And Mark apparently was ready to leave in the summer. And then Ernst kind of talked to him and to the other clubs a little bit. And, we don't know what those conversations were like, but we can only assume is that, obviously Ernst wanted the Union to be the best that they could be. And he knew that with Mackenzie, they could go on and win their first trophy, which they did. And I'm sure in those conversations, Ernst then said, you're playing at a really high level. If you keep this up, we can sell you for more. You're going to be looked at by more clubs, and we can find you the best fit for you.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened. And that hearing Ernst and Mark both talk in the press conference today, and even Jim Curtin, everyone was just excited for this opportunity for this player who has shown that he was, one of the best center backs in the league, obviously, best 11 selection. So yeah, it was just a great day for him and for the club. And now we get to kind of, see what he does out there and kind of talk a little bit about who might come in to replace him. I don't know.
All we can say is suck it, Celtic.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The Celtic fans were upset.
You didn't pay enough. You don't get the best goddamn center back to come out of Philly. Just saying.
Well, it sounds like they're really cheap too out in
oh my God,
Celtic.
And honestly, I am glad he didn't go to Celtic.
I didn't want it.
If you look at the dumpster fire that they are right now, and I say dumpster fire, they're in second place, but they're almost 20 points back of Rangers. I mean, they were looking to win the 10th straight Scottish Premier League title, and at this point, they're gonna be lucky if they hold on to second.
Yeah,
that team is an absolute dumpster fire, and I am
leagues like La Liga.
Yeah,
it's always those two teams. It's always Rangers.
You mean you don't want Real Sociedad to?
Well, I'm an Atleti guy, so I should.
Atleti 2 points up with 2 games.
I know. I heard they lost. They got bounced from Copa del Rey.
Yeah.
Did they? I knew that.
I knew
saw that today. I didn't.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. But no. So Tim alluded to it. So Mark is gone now, and it's great. We'll for the next couple of days we'll relive Mark's time here in Philly, and it's dandy and all. But we are looking ahead at 2021, right? And who is going to come in at center back? Because we're set. We got Jakob still here, and we have Jack Elliott, right? But we've predicated over the past couple of years is that the Union have one of the best depths in the MLS, and who's going to come in and be that third guy? Obviously, I brought up today because a couple months ago we had the rumor of un Argentino, Nicolás de Martini, out in Club Atlético Tempe. I think that's how you say it.
Gotta love the Italian sounding Argentinian names. All those Italian expats coming down.
Nicolás. Boludo, es que en la Argentina somos italianos. But no, I'm sorry. No, so
they cook it Gonzalo Higuain.
I can't do a Brujo's face. But no, so the kid is a 20-year-old kid. I think he's gonna be 21 soon. He plays. It's actually the club is in second division. In Argentina, which I don't care about that. But
listen, the lower the division, the better for Ernst,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is that the kid is not that cheap. I thought this would be like around like a 200 to 500,000. I looked up on Transfer Market. His current value is
almost
900,000.
Yeah.
He was close to $1 million. I remember seeing it. I was like,
Yeah.
and I looked at his like the underlying stats. I'm like, kid looks pretty good. Like he's in the second division.
It's a little, it's weird. Well, he's also very young. He's like 21, or right? He's about to turn 21. But yeah, Tim, what do you say, man? You buying this rumor? You got someone else in mind?
Yeah, so I know the rumor was sort of brought back up by the Union Rumors Twitter account. I think there were some rumblings of that back in September, end of the summer, that this guy was sort of a target for the Union. I think he makes the most sense. But who knows with Ernst and the people he gets. I did put a tweet out there. I said. I'm going to be writing a piece on this tonight of, who could the Union possibly get.
Stay tuned for that, guys.
I asked people who they thought they might want. And a lot of people are saying, they're giving me names and stuff, but a lot of people are essentially saying, I don't know, it's going to be someone from a lower division. We got some people asking or thinking that maybe, some older center backs might come in here. I don't think that's really Ernst's play. Union Hulk just chimed in with,
I think they're just trying to piss off Miss Levenguth.
Yeah, probably. Hope he wants Sergio Ramos. So
Tim, I'm sorry. I know I was the first comment on there. I was on my daily 6 mile walk when I saw your tweet and went. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, who's the first person I could think of? And Cameron, I don't know why Cameron Carter-Vickers was like the first center back I thought of. But
where is he at right now? Is he still in England?
I think he's Bournemouth. He's at Bournemouth right now.
Wow. Yeah, I say he's been on loan from Tottenham.
Yeah.
I mean, why they haven't given him a shot, I don't know. I mean,
they've never even given him a shot.
It's the Premier League conundrum for American center backs. It happens. Matt Miazga, same deal. But anyway, like we have people even talking a lot about, Tim Ream essentially.
No, I saw that. No.
Is he at Fulham still?
Yep.
Yes.
Keep him far away.
Shout out to Chuck Booth and
hey
Chuck, I love you, but no.
Shouts out to GGO Lee Porter.
No.
GGO and Lee Porter, the one time Fulham club Philadelphia lasted the one season they were in the Prem like 2 years ago. But no, I'm good on Tim Ream too, man. He's a right.
I also seen people bring up Marcos Rojo, who I believe is at Manchester.
Oh God, no! As a Man U fan, no.
See,
don't want any of that.
This is
when the last time he's seen a field.
Right.
He's on loan.
Almost 30. Also, he's 30, and he's worth according to Transfer Market, he's worth right around 6 million euros, which is too much for me.
Equivalently too much for me. I like
too much for Tim. Tim, you mean you don't have that kind of pocket change lying around behind those scarves back there?
So this is what I tell Union fans, and this is what I'm going to tell you guys. If you guys don't know the name and he doesn't play for a team you probably never heard of, then that's a good thing. That's probably what.
Yeah, the lower the division and the stranger the sounding the name. I mean, hell, we got a Shabilko.
And a Kai Wagner.
It's not even spelled like that. It's a Shabilko. It's not even spelled like that. So the weirder spelling the name and the lower the division, the better the result is.
Yeah.
So to that point, on my tweet here, there's someone who responded who's just given me names of like lower level Germany defenders, not necessarily.
Was it Mike Thomas? Wait.
It wasn't Mike Thomas. No,
I was gonna say because Mike Thomas gave we had this whole discussion in this on the Ben Discord about it, and because of a later fact that we might talk about, the amount of center backs that he was trying to pull was a small pool, and one of them had a Salzburg thing. And I'm like, Mike, just because Ernst is in, it doesn't mean that that's the connection. So
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't Mike Thomas. I love you.
But anyways,
That's Mike Thomas.
to bring it full circle, I do think that Nicolas Dimitri, is that who is it? Dimitri? I can't even say it.
D Martini, like a martini.
Oh, okay.
Martini. Hey,
Di
Nicholas
Martini.
De Martini.
Like a dirty
I want
martini.
to go Italian with it. It's not Italian, but I think
De Martini. I know.
I already got the nickname. Dirty martini with a dirty slide tackle.
I was gonna say, Johnny, can you even say that name with any kind of a Spanish accent? Because
can't.
That's Italian. That is De Martini. It's like the scene in Inglourious Bastards, Margaretti.
Yeah,
I mean, his name is typical Argentine name.
You can't say De Martini without trying to pretend like you're having an Italian accent.
But I think he fits the Ernst mold, like John was saying. He's
left-footed too.
Left-footed, under $1 million, second division in Argentina.
And probably what it was, Tim, is that they were waiting for Mark's deal to happen. They just had this guy like on the wraps, but
I think too. I mean, you look at how many times has Ernst made a deal before the new year? I mean, this is what his second full, winter transfer window. Ernst has never made a deal prior to the new year.
Didn't he get?
I think Ed Brujo was. Yeah. Ed Brujo was because.
I mean, if you look at the history of union transfers and even Ernst,
because of Marco Fabian being a couple of days before we went to Florida.
But a lot of the time it happens in this period. In the first half of the month, you start to hear the rumors, which is why we've heard De Martini's name being brought back up, which is why the perfect segue why Ernst Tanner is in Africa.
I
mean, you hear these you hear these names and you hear this where he is and that's when the stuff happens. And it usually happens by the middle of the month. By the time they're in camp, which CBA negotiations go where they are, who knows? But normally by the end of the month, they're practicing at YSC.
Yeah.
So Ernst has said this, that when they start practicing for preseason, they want all the players that are going to be on the team. They want them there.
Yeah.
So that's why Ernst is traveling right now. It's because he wants the players that are signing. He wants them to be done. And he even said a player announcement would come very soon.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we have this news next week. I'm not saying it's going to be him. I'm not saying.
No, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the news, especially where he is.
If Ernst is saying it, it means that there are negotiations going on right now.
Yeah,
that's just usually how it goes. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hear maybe who he's having talks with over in Africa, because I think we were kind of discussing before we came live here that it's probably not for that center back. So it's got to be for another position.
It can't be. It can't be, because I mean, you look at the players, the needs they still have. You still need an attacking mid, which I think that's what they're going to get in Africa. I don't know if you're going to get the attacking mid in Africa. I think
that's where we're going to get it.
I think if you're looking for an attacking mid, I think he could go to South America. I think that's a market that Ernst has said that he wants to explore, that he doesn't have as many connections, but that he does want to look at. I think we've been saying it, and we said it before. I think this could be a striker. This could be an underrated striker that comes through. I mean, if you look, and we were talking about this before the pod, if you look at the amount of talent, the amount of forward talent in the last 20 years that has come through Europe from Africa, even you talk about the French national team.
Yeah.
The level of talent's unreal. And I think Africa is an untapped market especially for forwards. I feel like forwards are really, you look at a lot of the African teams now, and they have a lot of high-flying press offenses, high press, a lot of energy. I would say almost like a Leeds.
Okay.
Very high press, very high energy, go. And that's what you want. If that fits Ernst's system, I feel like it's going to be an attacking player if that's what he's in Africa for. I don't, like I said, I would lean more towards a striker than I would be an attacking mid. But heck, if he finds an attacking mid, I'm not going to question Ernst considering his track record right now. I'm not going to question it.
Well, I already threw it out there to Ernst. Whenever he's ready, my dad just, he got my grandma's place out in Colombia. We'll stay there for the week. We'll drive out to the little youth academies and whatnot. We'll go to these different teams and we'll scout together in Colombia. I think it's a smart idea, but Ernst is busy these days. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of question marks here. We were thinking that the center back position is going to be figured out soon, as far as Mark's, I guess, replacement in quotations, because it's not really going to be his replacement. But yeah, should be interesting. Any last thoughts there, Tim?
No, I'm just I'm excited to see what happens here, what Ernst can find around the world, and yeah, I mean, we see this club right now. You don't necessarily need to find a starter in any position necessarily. I know you probably want to find an attacking mid and a center back. But the players they have on the roster right now makes a pretty damn good starting 11. You can plug Jack Elliott in there, for Mark or Glesnes, whoever you want to put on the left side there. And then when you look up at the 10, Fontana can come in and play that pretty well too. So
I agree with you. I would like as far as that that Cam or just like a central midfielder. I just want someone to just compete with Jamiro and Fontana, which that shouldn't be too much money to find to compete with those two. Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about it, Tim. You know what I want, man. You know what I want. I want that kid that guy that's just gonna absolutely put the fear in opposing back lines, which that costs a pretty penny. So we'll see.
Get that done. You think Atalanta might work with Muriel or Zapata?
Oh man,
dude. A couple mil. I know they're doing well, but
I know the Colombians would not be happy about that. But listen, Duvancho is he's.
But hey, there's Johnny. There's a good contingent of Colombian Union fans. They could say they'll be welcome with open arms. Johnny will be waving the Colombian flag at the airport. Dude. You'll be on the tarmac. You'll be singing the Colombian national anthem as you with a boombox like John Cusack.
100%, dude. 100%. Listen, Ernst, it would really mean the world to me if you could just buy one Colombian. I know we have a bad history. I get it. But just the cheapest, even 100,000.
Not a bad history, mixed history.
Yeah,
depending on
the Valdez stuff was a little. It kind of
depending on who you're.
Valdez the first time was legit for the Union.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I think the Union just had enough. Well, they had a bad experience with America de Cali, which I think really what it was, and obviously Valdez wanted to play for the national team, and the national team just for whatever reason have this stigma with the MLS, and they still do, to believe it or not, which is ridiculous. So I think that's kind of where that's lingered from. But the relationship between America de Cali and the Union might not ever be one again. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so that we're of course next week we will be playing Where in the World is Ernst Tanner, and we will, of course, break down.
Maybe he'll divulge it again.
Maybe. We'll keep you up to date. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with the transfer news. We'll move forward here, guys. We're cutting it close to time, but we wanted to break down, guys, some of the news and notes around the MLS here because, guys, it was a pretty spicy week within the MLS, and we got three storylines that we really just want to talk to you guys about because, listen, we want to see our league keep growing, and these are some storylines that'll definitely create some interest here within our league.
Boy, Johnny, I didn't know you loved Diego Fagundes signing with Austin FC. and Matt Beasler. I mean, God, Austin FC making some moves, Johnny. You're a big
Louise. Well, I like Austin now because my girlfriend has been dying to go to Austin, so now I have an excuse to go down to Texas other than just watching the Eagles beat up on the boys. But we're gonna start off today.
All right.
We're gonna start off today with the Greg Vanney signing with the Los Angeles Galaxy. Now, guys, look. I might be a little harsh on the Galaxy, but I think it's hilarious to see how those guys were the Yankees. the Cowboys, they were the Canadiens, they were it in the MLS, and now they are.
Now they're still the Cowboys.
Very true, very true. No, but you're right. Like they are a mess. They are an absolute mess. I don't understand how this club can get to this point. But look, listen, Greg Vanney, his track record, it doesn't even need to be said. Like the guy knows how to
Galaxy
win.
legend. I mean,
yeah, that's who played for the Galaxy. But like, my question is, can he recreate the culture within LA? Like right now with the Galaxy, it's this whole "we are the Galaxy." You know, like you just said with me, like. We are the Galaxy, drinking their espressos and they're so fancy over there. Like, are they really ready to dive deep into what went wrong within the Galaxy and fix this structural issue that they have? Because you can't keep buying old European stars and expect to win championships again. Like what they had was they had David, yes, they had Landon and Robbie King, but those guys put everything on the line for that goddamn shirt, and you got to try to recreate that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I was reading a good article by Matt Doyle at MLSsoccer.com.
Shout to Matty.
Where, I mean, he made some good points. If you look at Greg Vanney's track record, what he does. There's a few things that he does. One, he's an amazing man manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's good because obviously former players tend to relate the most.
100%
as a manager, and so he knows how to control a locker room. He knows how to control, egos. Let's be honest here. I mean, certain egos, and
especially in Toronto.
Trying to do Michael Bradley. But I mean, he also one thing he has done very well is he is great with young players.
Yeah.
Now with the Galaxy, they haven't really focused as much on their academy.
This is ridiculous.
But if you look at the players they've tried to bring up from Los Dos, you have Julian Araujo, who is quietly becoming a right back of choice, at least as a second or third option for the U.S. national team. You have Efrain Alvarez, who a midfielder who, as I've been told and I've seen, the kid might not play any defense, but oh my lord, that kid has a left foot that if Zlatan says that you are one of the best players, young players that he has played with in a long time, you know that the kid's going to be something special.
Yeah.
And this season, even Ethan Zubak, when Chicharito was having a cold spell because, I love Chicharito at Man U, but man, he is not the same player he remotely was even at Leverkusen. Zubak stepped up and he started to, I mean, he obviously didn't contribute as many goals as you would expect from someone, but as a, 2021 kid, like you're not going to expect that from him. You're expecting, he gave a lot of effort. And with Vanney is a perfect person to mix youth development with not like, oh my God, like a $10 to $15 million signing, but like, like a $5-6 million signing. Like, I mean, you look at Josie was a little higher, but like
Giovinco though, Giovinco was a huge signing at the time.
But like,
wasn't Pozuelos not big signing too?
But like Vanney's average signings don't usually cross like 10 million.
Yeah,
because he doesn't need that absolute superstar. I mean, Giovinco really wasn't a superstar. He was expensive, but he coming into the league, he's not a Zlatan, he's not a Beckham, he's not a David Villa, he's not he's not that name, unless you followed Serie A, he's not a name brand player.
No, yeah.
I say the typical, the run-of-the-mill soccer fans going to know.
Sure.
Now, obviously, for a lot of for us here that follow more leagues than just MLS, Giovinco's a name we had heard of. He hadn't exactly gotten to that stardom level, but you're like, okay, this guy is clear that he is talent. Like, is he using us as a launching pad? And obviously he did.
Yeah.
Although it was really for money, but
Yeah, I think just to jump on that though, that's what Vandy can bring to LA. If they're seeing right now that bringing in these aging superstars isn't working, they know they can get a mid-range superstar, like on the cusp guy who's worth a good chunk of change because they're LA Galaxy and they have money, and they can bring him in, and Vandy will get the most out of them and hopefully bring them silverware back again. I think that's more of the road they're going, and I think they're using Giovinco as that, like the poster child for what they want to do at LA Galaxy.
I mean, like I hear what you're saying about that. I mean, I did see them, not ruin, but they kind of missed on Pavon and what's his name, Corona as well.
I don't think Pavon. I mean, that is a separate issue because I know the loan deal initially was. I mean, that was what the buy was like 20 million, and they were talking. They're trying to get it down to 10, and Boca was asking for like 15, and then maybe 12, and like that's a whole mess. So I don't blame that on them. I mean, I think he was the only bright spot on that team the last few seasons. So I think that's a tough call. I mean, a normal year, I don't think they would have paid 20 million, but they definitely would have paid the money for him because he's worth it. But in these times, it's kind of tougher to say, hey, we're going to splash 15 million on a guy, even though he's our best player.
I mean, yeah, we'll definitely see. I mean, obviously they need to figure out like what the hell. Like, I mean, Chicharito is there. I'm assuming like they can't get rid of him, but
he's still in LA, right? That's like
he didn't do anything last year.
To show up.
Like, can Vanny get Chicharito to look anything like what he used to?
If he could do half of what he did with Josie, I think Chicharito could put in 10 to 15 goals, which for Chicharito might not be a lot, but that'll be
that'll get the Galaxy in the playoffs, though. That will get the Galaxy in the playoffs.
Oh, agreed.
Well, I mean, we'll definitely see. I'm really intrigued because, listen, you guys know I'm a big GBS guy. I saw what he did in Boca. I was sold, and it was a mess. It really was a mess for the Galaxy. And, like, look, I love my MLS, and I understand that having the Galaxy good helps this league. And so, yeah, I don't want to see them being as messy as they was last year, but we'll Greg Vanny, the all eyes are on you, my man. If you turn this Galaxy team around, you will be, to me, in my eyes, you will be the best coach ever in MLS history. I'll put him there. If he wins a couple chips with LA Galaxy, he gets them back to what they were. He will be goated in my eyes. Let's move on to the next news of note. Now, this one more than likely won't happen, but we're going to talk about it because this got a couple Union fans up in Adams. Mesut Ozil, there was a rumor that he was in negotiations with DC United this week. And that was, we know DC's history with DPs as of late, especially, but that kind of got burned down because apparently Fenerbahce out in Turkey are throwing out a crap load of money for, let's face it, as Ozil's an aging European star.
I'm surprised he wasn't linked to Istanbul Başakşehir because he's such good friends with Erdogan.
But I mean, listen. So more than likely, Ozil's not coming to MLS. But what I want to know, because this got a lot of Union fans talking, and especially I think the younger fan base, especially, and just the fans who I guess aren't engulfed in a lot of soccer, just like really the Union, like when they hear these names that they've heard over in Europe, they get really excited. And they're like, Union, please get in on Mesut Ozil. And I'm like thinking to myself, because I've already seen what this league is doing right now, like, what the hell would I want any part of Mesut Ozil? Right?
Johnny, like, you refer to those fans as Euro snobs.
But the thing is that like some of the people that I saw on Twitter like overreacting, like they're big Union people, and like it's like, did you not see what the Union have been doing? Like, did you not see even what Columbus did last year to win the MLS Cup? like that, like, and nothing has to do with buying an aged European star. So, Tim, I'll let you take this one here. Your thoughts, like, would you want a Mesut Ozil type on your union, and two, do you still think that there is room for these type of players in our league the way it's going?
For sure. So would I want a Mesut Ozil type player on the Union? Of course I would. Would it ever happen? No, because the amount of money that these guys demand for their salary does not make sense. It doesn't make sense for a club like the Union, who don't spend a lot of money on salary.
Yeah.
They just now are getting a good chunk of change for transfers or to just reinvest in the club. So they're not going to spend a lot of money like for a guy like that. In terms of the aging superstar in MLS, there will always be a place for aging superstars in MLS because it just is what it is. The league built itself up on that. I don't think the Union will really get in on it in terms of buying that big name. If they get someone from a well-known European club, it'll most likely be more so a role player. And, you know, that would be fine. You know, it would still cost the Union a good chunk of change to get a player like that. Like, that's the thing. And the way that the league is going, I think you made a great point, John, that the teams who are winning trophies aren't spending money on these big names.
No.
Portland won MLS's back. Columbus won MLS Cup, and we know the Union won the Supporters Shield. None of those teams bought a huge, well-known superstar. Now, Portland and Columbus bought players who made the difference and got them those trophies, and the Union grew them. So that's the way right now. It's, you know, buying the superstars who are on the cusp of their superstardom, want to use MLS as a springboard, and, you know, bringing them in. Hopefully, you win a trophy with them, and then selling them for a lot of money, or developing your own talent. Hope you win a trophy, and then sell those players for a lot of money. That's what it is. That's what it is right now. If you can throw an aging superstar in there in that mix, sure, go for it. But that's only if you have the money to spend on the salary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you said it all, man. I listen. I just see, like what you just said, those teams that are winning. I see what they're doing, and nothing says buy an aging European superstar. Let's take that money, guys. Let's go down to Liga MX. Let's steal someone from there, or even South America. Would rather do that.
Let me get some French striker.
He's still producing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I honestly,
dude's a legend at Tigres.
I think I would be in on that. Honestly, because I know he can score, and I know what he's doing with Tigres. Like, oh my god, I think
winning CONCACAF Champions League. That's what he's doing.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Philly's kind of like Monterrey, I guess. It's really not. It's really not. Awesome. All right, so let's move on to the last note here. Oh boy. So Inter Miami, we all expected to be the shining lights, this brand new toy in the MLS. They're black and pink. It's super sexy. It's South Beach. It's David Beckham as the owner. They're gonna buy Messi. They're gonna buy Ronaldo. Put them together. Win MLS Cups. Year later, they're starting to become a joke, ladies and gentlemen. And the latest is that, and I'm putting this in quotation, they're parting ways with Diego Alonso. Now, in American sports, I usually hear like, the team fires the coach. Over in England or over in Europe, they'll say they sacked him. But no, Miami goes, we parted ways with Diego Alonso. Like, Justin, I'm going to ask you, like, what the hell's going on in Miami? Like, what is Beckham doing, dude?
That's a good question. And let me tell you, I was waiting for you to come to me for this question because I have a lot of thoughts about Miami. I could fill a whole
screw up this market too, man. You cannot screw it up.
I could fill a whole podcast with the joke that David Beckham got that in his contract, and that they're really playing in Fort Lauderdale. They're not even really in Miami, but whatever. I'll take that for it is. So that whole saga started, I remember correctly, before the new year. Diego Alonso thought he had been fired. Reports had come out that he had been fired. We had talked about it. in our group chat that he's fired. Oh no, jokes on us. Everyone had to retract their stories because he hadn't been fired. They had never said, but he was given the impression that he was fired. Fast forward about a month later, and he basically actually is fired. They said, mutually agreed to part ways. Whenever they say that, they're like, hey, you either quit or we're just going to fire you.
Yeah.
And it looks better when you say we mutually agreed to part ways because no one looks bad on that front.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as soon as, that comes out, who gets, linked but Phil Neville. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the women's game, I'll refresh you. His last stint was a very, I would say, not so great stint with the England women's national team. He was expected to win trophies. What did he win? Bupkis. The man was not a very good coach. Neither is his brother. Both United legends. I love them as players. Neither of them good coaches. And already he is the link.
But this is like someone who's won in this continent. Like Diego Alonso, literally a year before he got the job, won CONCACAF Champions League. And I just don't get it. I really don't.
It's the class of 92 nepotism. Beckham's got his friend. He wants to hire him as coach. Beckham wants this to be his team. Now, I don't know how much influence he had on signing guys like Higuain and Matuidi. I still think those weren't exactly the best signings. I mean, they needed goal scoring, but they didn't really. Higuain is not exactly at that point in his career where he is the goal scorer anymore.
Yeah.
Not a prolific one at that. I don't know.
Speed that they had, like you had Pizarro, you had what was his name, Pellegrini, and then the other side was either Agudelo and you had all that speed. Higuain can't keep up with that.
You kidding me? He couldn't keep up with it even in his prime. He's a goal poacher. You're a Napoli fan. He's a goal poacher.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a fit. It just like I listen.
Again, aging superstar in MLS. He got what? One goal.
Yeah.
The free kick. I think the free kick was his only goal.
I think it was his only goal.
Didn't they lose like 3-0 to Nashville to get bounced in the playoffs?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they looked real bad.
And Nashville's like a third of the payroll.
They elect Dax McCarty to run the whole field.
By the way,
the NFL stripes too, and they jeez.
By the way, my favorite goal of the postseason, and simply because
what the layout one.
No, the Dax McCarty.
Oh yeah, that one was nice
simply
too.
Because, I told I joked that Tim's a if Dax McCarty ever needs a stand-in, it's a pretty. I mean the Ginge Brotherhood, but like that run. How do you let a man who Dax McCarty is not winning a 40-yard sprint any day of the week. But he literally took the ball from just outside his box and ran to the other box and fired a low shot. I think essentially that's what made Luis Robles retire.
That was John McCarthy.
He got hurt, so he might make John McCarthy retire. Who knows?
Man, don't do that for Lord Helmet, man.
That sums up Miami. Like that, you got an end-to-end single-handed goal scored on you by a guy who's absolutely not known for scoring goals.
And you know what? I'm not mad at Miami because Miami sports took Jimmy Butler away from me. So you guys can take a bad MLS team.
Take an L there, Chief.
Can I get the last word on this real quick?
100%, my brother.
Please, Tim.
I was saying, or I had seen somewhere on Twitter, someone was equating Miami's situation right now with their owner, David Beckham, to the Dallas Cowboys and their owner, David Jones. And all I'm saying is,
yes,
I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I would say they're more like Charlotte because Michael Jordan was the best basketball player and we'll ever see, and he is probably the worst front office guy we'll ever see as well.
That's a better
You mean you don't love the Bobcats and now Hornets?
That was the only good thing he did. The only good thing he did for Charlotte was rebrand back to the Hornets because that is a moneymaker. I mean, let me be honest. It's a beautiful, color scheme that they have, but Michael cannot draft to save his life. He overpays players too. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's another episode of DOOP by the River. The next time we talk, we will talk about the last part of the Union season. We didn't forget about it, but we just had too much to talk about today, and we will get to it next time. Guys, first off, thank you, Justin, and thank you, Tim, for hopping on today. This was a powerful episode, obviously, the way we started, but also talking about Mark and everything else going on in the MLS. So thank you guys again for hopping on. I never take you guys for granted for hopping on here, and really makes my job a lot easier. Trust me, guys, makes my job a lot easier. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to subscribe to us. We are on PSN Radio, so make sure to subscribe to PSN Radio. If you also want to check out our Hands and Faces again, we are on the El Parcero Philly YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Tim Lomaguth, and that is Justin Freiberg. I am El Parcero Philly, and we are telling you guys to DOOP on, baby. Have yourself a great night.